Hurricane Katrina seems destined to be the most costly natural disaster in American history. Last night, we began this broadcast saying Katrina was bad, very bad. Last night, we didn't know the half of it. Along the Gulf Coast, different cities, different problems. In New Orleans, we have a major American city underwater. New Orleans thought it had been spared the worst. And then two major levees broke, and slowly the city filled today with water. Canal Street is now a canal. The city is going to be essentially uninhabitable for many days. In Gulfport, Mississippi, it was sudden. By contrast, a 25-foot-high wall of water swept ashore in the storm surge. That essentially destroyed the coastline. In Biloxi, Mississippi, the mayor called that storm surge our tsunami. And as it swept as much as a mile inland, hundreds may have been killed. One medical rescuer said today they won't quit counting bodies for a while.
On August 23, 2005, Hurricane Katrina began its journey of destruction along the east coast of the United States. The hurricane first hit about 200 miles southeast of the Bahamas and was first categorized as a tropical depression. When Katrina hit southern Florida on August 25th, it was considered a Category 1 hurricane and caused some flooding and some property damage. Later, Katrina weakened and was no longer classified as a hurricane but as a tropical storm, until it reached the Gulf of Mexico. On August 27th, Katrina grew to a Category 3 hurricane with winds reaching speeds of up to 115 miles per hour, covering the entire Gulf of Mexico. On August 28th, it became a Category 5 hurricane with winds at 175 miles per hour. The storm then began to make its way north to New Orleans, the city soon to be torn in half. After causing mass destruction, this hurricane weakened back to a Category 3 storm before hitting the Louisiana-Mississippi border on August 29th. Katrina shrunk to a Category 1 hurricane after hitting southern and central Mississippi and then categorized back to a tropical storm. A couple days later, on August 31st, the storm became an extratropical low and was finally absorbed. Due to the huge amount of water that Hurricane Katrina brought, many people lost their lives while trying to escape storm surges and rising water levels. According to a CNN report, 40% of the deaths were directly linked to drowning. 25% were directly linked to injury and/or trauma, and over 11% were caused by heart conditions. Nearly all of the deaths were of people who were 74 years or older and were spread out in multiple states. In the state of Florida, over 14 deaths occurred. In Alabama and Georgia, only 2 deaths occurred. In the state of Louisiana is where the majority of the deaths occurred. Over 1,577 people died. Later, over 238 people died in Mississippi as the storm headed northeastern. Together, these numbers bring the death count to a total of 1,833 deaths directly linked to the catastrophe that was Hurricane Katrina.